This week in Core Fabrics, we have a fun little mini collection of Deadstock fabrics that we've sourced. This is a really pretty cotton, and it's got this kind of like eyelet stripe. And you will be seeing this in an upcoming pattern shoot. We used it maybe in the next couple weeks. We used it to make a sample, and it's just a nice crisp cotton with that pretty stripe. And you can tell it's got a little bit of sheerness to it, but super pretty. And it's kind of an off-white. It's almost like a very, very, very light dusty pink, but super pretty. We have this really fun madras plaid. I love a madras plaid. It's that kind of like classic preppy plaid, but we fell for this because the colorway is so beautiful. So you can see it's a really, pretty classic cotton plaid, but I just love these shades of lavender and mustard and kind of olive green and blue. I just think this is such a cool plaid, and what a awesome fall shirt dress this would make. And it's also heavy enough that you could do like a lightweight pant, button down shirt, anything where you would need kind of like a mid-weight cotton. Next up in our Deadstock collection is this Czech cotton, and it's a little bit crisp and stiff. It almost, I would say, has the hand of canvas, but you can see that the check lines have actually been embroidered in. So it's not just a pattern that's been printed, it's actually been embroidered. So I think this has just got a really cool texture and hand, and it works on both sides. And as you can see, because it has a slightly more kind of canvasy hand, it's a little bit more stiff, but it has a lovely body and it's got lots of volume. So if you needed anything that like had any kind of voluminous component, I think it would work really well. But this is just a great bottom weight or kind of top weight for jackets and coats weight cotton that I think could be very cool as we're heading into fall. Next up, we've got this double-faced cotton. I don't know if I would call it I guess it's a cotton gauze. And it's double-faced, so it's basically two layers of fine cotton that have been woven together. And so on one side, we have this larger check, and then on the other side, we have this finer check. So you can see here the two. And even though it's a double gauze, it does have a decent amount of weight, and you can see it's got a really nice drape. So I just think this would be so cool. Like if you could think of some kind of application where you would get to see both sides. Like I'm thinking of our Cali shirt dress that has that really dramatic back hem where you see the underside of the hem. This could be really cool. Or maybe you want to make a shirt dress and use one side for the plackets and the collars and the other side for the body of the shirt. I think could be really interesting. So limited quantities of this. And then we've got 4 really fun prints. We were at a fabric show in the summertime and weren't really actually planning on buying any Deadstock and saw these and like immediately needed to get them. So lucky you. This one I love. It's kind of like an abstract sailboat print, this triangle. But it's really cool. It's really stretchy. You can see it's like basically a cotton twill. But I think with Deadstock, it's not always easy for us to figure out exactly what's in it. But I can tell just by touching it that it's probably like a cotton nylon or cotton spandex. Maybe there's a little bit of poly in here just based on how smooth the hand is. It's very smooth. But this would be so cool for a pair of Sasha trousers, any kind of stretch pant, if you wanted to make a pair of jeans with this. Or the nice thing about a stretch woven is that you can use it in most applications where you would use a non-stretch woven, but you're just gonna have a little bit more give when you're bending down and moving around. So if you wanted to make like a close-fitting dress with this, you probably wouldn't even have to size down. It just means as you're moving that you're not gonna have things digging into it in the same way. So this is a very cool one. And now we're coming to these 60s prints that I lost my mind when I saw. I love this print so much. This like kind of wild 60s inspired flower power print I think is so incredible. I've never seen a print like this before. I think the colors are so beautiful. It's obviously very 60s inspired, but I feel it reminds me of something from like Japanese street fashion or something. Like I can just envision a really like show-stopping dress made out of this. Like either you go kind of 60s and do a little sheath dress, or maybe you do something a little bit more unexpected, but I just think this is so cool. And it's basically a cotton poplin, so it's got that crisp hand, moderate drape. So cool. Next up, we have this other kind of 60s inspired print, and this reminds me of Lily Pulitzer, who is that kind of classic American designer who did all the kind of Palm Springs, Palm Beach inspired prints in the 60s and up until today. And it's just got this really unusual color combination of that kind of blush pink and then this Kelly green. Actually, I think it's this way. And I just think it's such a cool, unexpected print and a really unexpected color combination. And I love this flower motif. This is also a poplin, but it's got a little bit of a softer hand, maybe more, leaning more towards the cotton voile family, but still perfect for shirts, shirt dresses, maybe a lightweight pair of like beach pants, cover-ups. But I see this as like a really amazing shirt dress. I think would be so, so cool. And then last but not least, I loved this. My friend Eliza Lex in London, who owns By Hand London, always finds these great prints. And I remember a couple months ago, she made this beautiful dress that looked like kind of like a Moroccan tile print. And when I saw this cotton poplin, I thought of it and had to get it. Again, really unusual print, but I just think this is so fun. It looks like a beautiful Spanish or Moroccan style tile, but in this really lovely kind of all-purpose cotton poplin weight. And again, has this kind of lovely drape, but I just think this is gonna be the most show-stopping garment you would make all year if you kind of wanna look like a really beautiful Spanish tiled kitchen, which who doesn't, really? So this is our collection of Deadstock fabrics this week at Core Fabrics. Of course, with all Deadstock fabrics, quantities are limited, and so they tend to sell it pretty quickly. So if there's anything that you really love, best to kind of hop on and get it while the getting's good.